So I have already done the chronic illness tag, and I was going to see, well, I was checking to see if there was a Lyme disease tag. I have yet to find one, but if I find one, I don't feel like wearing my glasses, I will do that, or maybe I need to make my own. Right now I am hooked up to IV doxycycline. My pole is behind me, and what's going to make this video a little more interesting is the fact that I really need to stretch and I want to stretch, so I'm going to be stretching while I go through the chronic pain tag because I found that online. So I have my foam roller here, I'm on a gymnastics mat in my room, and I'm going to do the chronic pain tag while stretching because, oh boy, gotta move my pole out of the way because I need to get limber. So the first question for the chronic pain tag is, what are you diagnosed with and when did you get diagnosed? Okay, this is a really hard question. I'm going to only deal with the disorders that cause me chronic pain because that's the tag. A few very important diagnoses when it comes to chronic pain include that I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease just before my 17th birthday, along with Babesia, another tick-borne illness, Bartonella, and Ehrlichia, all tick-borne diseases. So I was diagnosed with autoimmune encephalitis, which causes a lot of neurological chronic pain, reflex sympathetic dystrophy that causes severe nerve pain, chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, which is nerve damage, which causes a ton of nerve pain. I don't know, gosh, I have so many things. I don't know if I can say when I got diagnosed because they're all at different times. I have symptoms of gastroparesis. I'm in a split now. Can't really see, but it doesn't matter because it's not a stretching tag. It's a chronic illness, or chronic pain tag. I have symptoms of gastroparesis, but I've never been officially diagnosed with that because we've been sticking with my Lyme specialist, and there's no point in just putting a label on it when we're treating it the same way. But you could also just call it IBS or pretty much anything you want. So that's chronic pain. I have lots of chronic stomach problems, chronic nerve pain problems that affect my whole body. I have chronic headaches. I can't even say headaches. I've had the same headache since I was 14, and it just waxes and wanes. What other pain disorders do I have? If I think of more, I will come back to this question. How or when did your chronic pain begin? Okay, this is an easier question. My chronic pain began when I was 13 years old. I was in 8th grade, and I started getting a lot of burning skin, along with itchiness and numbness and tingling, which is classic symptoms of neuropathy, but didn't know the cause for many years. That's when the initial pain started, and then it went on to GI problems, chronic stomach pain. We thought I had celiac disease, and that was when I was 15. And I actually went to Disney World with my friend for her sweet 16 for like 4 days or something, and I had a huge stomach problems when I was there, and it was really hard to handle. The reflex sympathetic dystrophy happened when I was 16 years old. I am 19. So that happened when I was in ballet class and I wasn't actually even dancing. That wasn't what caused me to get injured. I finished like dancing, and then I was like walking and I twisted my ankle, and reflex sympathetic dystrophy is usually or like always caused by a small injury, and like that's not even considered an injury when you roll your ankle and then you finish dancing the whole class. I was completely fine until the next day. I had trouble walking and I couldn't point my foot, and then within 3 days my left leg was paralyzed for like 2 or 3 weeks. So it escalated pretty quickly, and then the RSD symptoms of burning, feeling like your bones are on fire and your nerves are on fire spread to my whole body. So that was when I was 16. The chronic headache began when I was 14. Stomach when I was 15. But basically 13, because all of the neuropathy, it just kept getting worse, but it started when I was 13. And we don't know why it started. I mean, now since I've been diagnosed with Lyme, we're thinking and assuming, not just assuming, but we're putting all of the pieces of the puzzles together with all my other diagnoses. But at the time, we didn't know why I suddenly had the pain. Now, I have a bunch of diagnoses, so it kind of explains a lot more 6 or 7 years later. Question number 3 is, what kind of pain do you experience? I'm reading this off of my iPad. And what does it feel like? So I have a bunch of different types of pain, but the worst one, and the hardest to treat, of course, is neuropathic pain, aka nerve pain. And that's the one that started when I was 13, so I've been dealing with that for a long time. And I've come up with some tricks over the years, but it's still the hardest thing to manage. I have other kinds of pain too, like muscle pain and joint pain. I get migraines, rarely, but I do. I get a constant, like my skull is being just taken and like crushed in the back of my head, and that's due to the autoimmune encephalitis. So that's like a crushing pain, the headache that I have constantly. I have rib pain a lot, and that also feels like crushing pain. Now I'm changing my stretch. And I had gallstones when I was 17. And now I had gallbladder surgery when I was 17. So like almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in December. And even though my gallbladder is out and there's no problems with my gallbladder now, I still have that rib pain that's crushing and it takes your breath away. So that's really hard. I have a type of pain called allodynia, which means light touch really hurts you. And that goes along with the neurological pain because it's a neuropathic thing. So my shirt brushing against my body burns my skin. Someone touching my shoulder burns and hurts. I cut my hair this short so it doesn't touch my shoulder because my hair brushing against my neck hurts. I have pain when I chew food for some reason, pain in my jaw. And that's just like a really sharp pain that comes on and then it goes away. I don't really know what that is. So there's a lot of different types of pain that I experience, and they change of, what's the pain of the day gonna be and what's gonna be worse. And then some days I don't have muscle pain and it's all nerve pain, and sometimes I have everything. So It's all in the day and all in the hour, and you never know what you're gonna get. Question 4 is it consistent or is it on and off? My chronic pain overall, so I have different types of chronic pain, as I have said, is constant. There's never been a time where I've been without pain since I was 12 years old. Now, the type of pain it is depends. I don't have rib pain 24/7, but I do have nerve pain all the time except when I'm sleeping or when I'm unconscious during a seizure, and then you don't feel anything. The headache is constant, waxes and wanes. So the nerve pain and the headache are the two things that stay around all the time, and they wax and wane in severity. All of the other symptoms are there quite often, but they're not constant. They come in waves. They're worse one day, they're worse one morning. It really changes, and it's very unpredictable. So that makes it difficult. Question number 5 is, do you have any specific triggers for your pain? Absolutely. Light touch, because that's the allodynia. Of course, there's no real way to get around that. Because, I mean, you have to wear a shirt, you have to wear pants, you have to go outside, and the wind is blowing, and that hurts your skin, but you can't help it. And if it's raining, it's raining. One really big trigger for my pain is the cold weather. My room is the warmest room in the house because I keep my door closed. I never have the windows open in the summer because I don't like the breeze coming in. And I often have like a portable, like one of those heaters that looks like a fireplace in my room, especially in the winter. And I have a heated waterbed right behind me. So when I go out in the cold in the winter, which I'm just like, because it was snowing today and it's going to be Thanksgiving and Christmas and it's only going to get colder, my nerves automatically turn on. My headache gets way worse. It doesn't affect my stomach, digestive problems. Those are more cramping kind of symptoms and overall gastrointestinal discomfort. But the cold with my nerves, it just makes it feel like there are knives jabbing into my skin even more. And I'm stepping on pinpricks, and because of that, I try to stay really warm as much as I can because the cold is not good. How does your pain limit you? Is question number 6. So, my pain limits a lot of things that, let's change and do another stretch, that people take for granted, I would say. Because my pain started when I was 13 and just has gotten worse, my pain controls what I can and cannot wear. I cannot wear jeans because of the fabric. So every fabric, like, there's no perfect fabric because it's still touching your skin, so it still hurts for me. But like cotton things, I live in sweatpants. I can't wear corduroy pants or anything else. Skirts, because they'll like brush against your legs more. Difficult. Lots of clothing. So I've been living in sweatpants for years, and I've just lived with that, and my pain limits how long I can let my hair be. my hair used to be like way down my back, and now it's short. And that's because I just can't handle the pain and putting it up to keep it out of the way and stuff. And if you've seen the other videos of me, I wear a seizure helmet, and when you have more hair, it's like hard to like deal with it in the seizure helmet, and it just makes things more complicated. So a lot of clothes. My chronic pain makes me unable to walk comfortably far places because my skin gets very irritated, my nerves. Brushing against each other and the weather. It limits me from being able to get out of bed on some days and just get out of the house. One of the worst things is that my chronic pain limits my ability to sleep well, so I can stay up all night, literally from, going to bed, laying in bed, but I'll stay up and watch the sunrise sometimes. I pulled many all-nighters due to pain, or I'll go and take a bath in the middle of the night because of chronic pain, or a shower. Now I'm not doing showers because my port's accessed. But baths. So it makes it really hard to sleep and get good rest. And when you don't get good sleep and good rest, it makes your pain worse. So it creates a bad cycle. So it's impacted me a lot. When I have really bad back pain, I can't be sitting in specific chairs for long periods of time, and it just changes a lot and goes back and forth. So my chronic pains of multiple diagnoses really change the way I live and make me do certain things, like wear my hair up a lot or make sure it doesn't touch my shoulders, and watch the material of clothes I'm getting, and you get used to it after a while when it's been so long. So I am now in an oversplit. I don't need my foot in the screen. I don't think anyone wants to see that. So question number 7 is, how do you cope with your pain? A lot of it is heat methods. Epsom salt baths are great for muscle aches as well as nerve pain. The problem with that is it only lasts when I'm literally in the bathtub and gives me relief. The second you get out, it's gone. I do take Tylenol for my headache when it gets worse, but on an everyday basis, I can't be taking Tylenol around the clock, because I would be taking Tylenol for like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah, I just counted on my fingers, 5 years, and that's really bad for your liver. And other medications for headaches have not helped me. When my stomach pain and rib pain is acting up, the only thing I can really do for that is either take a bath, once again, or a heating pad. So it's basically the same thing, heat. Never ice. I used to put ice on the back of my head, and I rarely do that, but I used to do that all the time. But now my head is just too sensitive. I've never tried putting heat on it. I don't really know how that would work. But just Tylenol for that. Tylenol doesn't help nerve pain or any other pain that I have, but it can help my headache. I also take a really awesome supplement from the company Zymogen, if I'm pronouncing it right, and it's called OptiMag, and it's just magnesium with malic acid, and malic acid helps to relieve the soreness in muscles, so that really helps it's the best thing that helps for my muscle aches or nerve pain. It doesn't take away the pain completely, not even close, but that's one thing that I actually notice, and it's great because it's a supplement. Oh, another huge thing is I drink a lot of green tea, and I wake up in the morning, usually, actually always, in a lot of pain, and I just don't do well in the mornings, in the early hours of the early afternoon. And green tea, whether it's the caffeine, I don't know, because other teas don't do the same thing necessarily for me, or it's another thing in green tea. I know green tea is extremely healthy, that's why I drink a lot of it, but it helps me feel better. A lot of it is mind over matter for me, and I know that I've been dealing with these problems for a long time. They're not just magically going to go away, but that doesn't mean they're going to be here forever either. So when I'm having a lot of pain, I just have to distract myself, watch TV, stretch, watch YouTube, do something fun. I don't go out much until I get my service dog on April 8th. When my pain is really bad and all of my go-to things don't work as well as I hoped, like taking a bath or my magnesium or Tylenol for my headache or my green tea, I just try to distract myself and do something so my mind isn't just focused on the pain that I'm in, that my mind is doing something. And again, does that take the pain away? No, but it gives you something to do, and it's a coping mechanism. It's not a cure, it's a coping mechanism. When are you most comfortable? Question number 8. I'm most comfortable when I'm drinking green tea, or when I'm honestly asleep because I'm not feeling pain. And this sounds really out there, but I'm most comfortable when I'm unconscious during a seizure because I have no idea what's going on, and I also don't feel anything, so I don't feel any pain. When I've been to the hospital and been admitted and been on pain meds all the time, I've been more comfortable at times then, but there's no like thing that just takes away the pain, so I'm dealing with this pain, all these different types of pain, 2 different kinds a day. Maybe one's really bad, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe all of them. And there's not something that just makes me completely comfortable. Staying warm and just keeping my body temperature like warm, like feeling warm on the inside, like after you exercise kind of warm, that makes my body feel better. But that's really all I can say for that one. Question number 9 is, as I look back, how do you feel least supported? That seems like a weird question. Like, when do you feel least supported? What's question number 10? How do you feel most supported? I'm going to change it to, when do you feel least supported? Well, I feel least supported with my pain when other people can't relate to it and they don't know what to say to me. And since I've had it so long, doctors, like, they run out of ideas, they run out of their bag of tricks. So that's hard. I don't know if that makes me feel least supported, but maybe if I'm having a hard day with my pain and someone else is in a bad mood and then it gets me in a bad mood, I don't feel very supported because, or I just feel worse because. That's a really hard question to answer. It's a confusing question. I don't really completely understand that one. Number 10 makes a little more sense to me. When or how do you feel most supported? Or I guess, when do you feel most validated, like with my pain? My Lyme disease doctor understands all of my pain so well, and so do my other doctors, because I have a great team of doctors that work with me, that try to help all my pain. And unfortunately, not even the best doctors I've had have been able to get rid of my pain, and that's part of the treatment process. And we're hoping that with this treatment process that I'm hooked up to this IV right now, I'm going to get rid of the pain. But they're really supportive. They believe everything I say. They don't think I'm exaggerating when I say the wind hurts my skin. Like, if you Google allodynia and things that trigger people, wind is like one that comes up, so I'm not making it up. My mom makes me feel really validated because she knows I'm a really tough person physically and mentally. And when I did ballet and did point, I would get a ton of blisters on the back of my heels, and they would bleed through my shoes, and my shoes were thick. So you'd have to bleed a lot to bleed through your shoes and have like a whole thing of blood on the back of your shoes. And I would never complain or stop dancing or take off my shoes or ask to stop. I would just keep going like no big deal. So she knows that when I'm in a lot of pain, or if I'm crying in pain, yelling in pain, I've yelled like a whole night in a hospital in pain, that this is something to be concerned about, because I'm not one to complain about pain. Especially when you have chronic pain, because then I would never stop complaining because the headache never goes away, as with other things that never go away. So that was the chronic pain tag. I'm going to keep looking up some other ones to see what else I can find and what else I can do to put on my YouTube channel. If anyone has any suggestions of videos to make, don't have anything service dog related. We'll have to wait a couple months for that. But there will be definitely lots of service dog videos in the future, but not now. But if you have any questions, I would love to do a question and answer thing related to Lyme, chronic disease, questions about me and what I've gone through, how it is going through school, anything I would be up to answering, and any requests or recommendations that people have about what they want to know about me or a topic that they'd like me to discuss. I hope this tag spreads awareness for chronic pain and that other people do it too.